Hello, this is Gary Yao, and today I would like to give you a short market update for June 1st. This is still a sales market that will prevail. While the market is slowing down, it is gradually evolving from its out of control, insane pace to a normal sales market where pricing will be fundamental in finding success. Economists are used to the constant chatter about recession bubbles and plunging home prices. The current economic environment has amplified the noise, surging interest rates, highest inflation since 1981, and a volatile stock market. This will definitely have an impact on the economy and the housing as well. Yet, it will not be to an extent of the fear-mongering masses who immediately jump to the worst possible outcome. The sky is not falling when it comes to housing. Most people remember the burn of the Great Recession. It either happened to them specifically, a family member, or a friend. There was an unstoppable wave of foreclosures and short sales. Home prices plummeted, erasing years of incredible gains. Unemployment jumped and took over 6 years to recover. The Great Recession was the largest economic downturn since the Great Depression, and it has left deep scars on society at large. Flash forward to today, and home prices continue to soar. Interest rates remain elevated above 5%. Housing is just starting to slowly, and many are calling for an imminent recession. Only 2 of the last 6 recessions negatively impacted housing values here in Southern California, and both were caused by the housing industry. The savings and the loan crisis of the 1980s and early 90s led to a recession and an erosion of home values that started in 1990. One of the main reasons of the recession was unsold real estate lending practices. The Great Recession began in 2007 after the March subprime meltdown. Easy credit, pick-up payment plan, subprime lending, zero down payment loans, easy qualifyment, adjustable teaser rates, and fraudulent lending all led to the largest downturn since the Depression. When pundits start talking about the potential recession, everyone's collective brain immediately recall the Great Recession and expect the economy and housing to behave just like it did in 2007. They forget about the other recessions where housing values continue to rise. Today's housing has an extremely strong foundation. Years of tight lending qualifications, large down payment, fixed rate mortgage, plenty of net equity, and limited cash on refinance. In housing, during a slowdown, demand falls, the active inventory rises, and it takes longer to sell a home. During the Great Recession, there was a glut of homes available to purchase, and it was matched with a mute demand. Consequently, home values in Southern California were nearly 120 homes available in 2007. Compare that today for merely 20,000 homes available. 6 times more. Today's missing ingredient that will lead to falling home prices is supply. The number of homes in the market today is far below average prior to the start of the pandemic when values were still rising, but at a much more methodical pace. The recent rise is indicating that demand has indeed become more stable and has found its footing. Demand is mute compared to its elevated levels of the last couple of years and lower than the normal level of the pandemic. Yet, it is matched up against an abnormal mute supply of homes available today. This has resulted in a housing market remaining at an insanely hot sales market level. The expected market time, the time it will take between hammering in the for sale sign to open an escrow, has risen from 28 days to 48 days, almost a 3-week increase. However, at 48 days, the housing market is still very hot. Anything below 60 days is considered a hot seller's market. From 60 to 90 days is considered a slight seller's market. The market is balanced between 90 and 120 days. It does not become a slight buyer's market until the expected market time eclipses 120 days, and values do not fall swiftly until it is deep in buyer's market above 150 days. Today's 48 days mark is nowhere close to a balanced or slight buyer's market. As the inventory rises and demand remains stable, the expected market time will continue to rise slowly. It will remain a seller's market this year, but it will take longer for sellers to find success, especially as the year progresses. Sellers will no longer get away with overpricing their homes. To find success, sellers will have to carefully arrive at their asking price, taking into consideration the most recent comparable pending and closed sales. The sky is not falling. Instead, housing is in the midst of a transitioning from an insane, unhealthy velocity to a much more normal, methodical, steady as she goes pace. This is Gary Yao, and I will talk to you soon.